Good morning and welcome to Realty Connects Long Island. We're having a great time here this morning. Michael's having a great time making fun of me today. Be quiet right now, Michael. We're here bringing a great show to you this morning with your hosts, John Fitzgerald and Michael Ardolino, two of my favorite people in the world. And we're really excited because we have Betty Davenport, who specializes in all areas of real estate, but she really is specifically going to hone in on the senior real estate market today.
Correct, yeah.
So we're going to give you a great show. We have a studio audience today, and we have a lot of great things in store for you. So last week we had Lisa Gott, and actually we had a question that came in. Did you know that? We had a question that came
After
in
the show,
after
a few
the
questions came
show.
in, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So we need to get people in touch with
No,
Lisa.
well, I don't tell you what's going on.
I believe the question was about staging, how to keep it low cost. And one of the things that Lisa suggested was just to throw some paint up on the wall. Do we have the question exactly?
And the phone number.
All right, how do I stage at low cost? I know she said something about keeping the paint on.
Yeah, part of staging is just that. It could be as simple as moving furniture around in the house, or if you're going to throw things away, to get rid of them now,
Right,
rather than
clutter.
wait until after you move, so the house and the room seem bigger. And shampooing some carpets, maybe get a painter to come in, paint the front door,
Right.
paint some of the trim and just to freshen the
Curb
house
appeal,
up.
Sure,
just the first
sure.
thing, I mean,
Yeah.
simple things, curb appeal.
She said
And
the
somebody
foyer
who-
when you walk
Yeah,
in.
as soon as you
Absolutely.
walk in, you want to wow them the best you can, and if you need to do it low budget and
Yeah.
tight, when you pull up to the house, look at it for the first time, as if, you know, when you go home all the time, you don't really pay attention, and you
Yeah.
probably don't go through your front door.
No,
However,
that's
on
true.
showing, you go through your front door.
That's right.
So a little thing like that, paying attention to just pulling up, taking a look at your house clean, new, fresh, flowers, you know, get some mums.
Then you don't wanna
ready for
sell
the
it.
fall.
Yeah,
It's
well,
really good.
yeah. You live with that leaky faucet for 12 years and fix it
All of
the
a
day you're
sudden,
getting rid of the
that's
house.
it. You know what I want to ask you guys? Do you suggest putting pictures, personal pictures away when you're selling a house?
Well, we may have two different opinions on that.
Okay,
You know,
well, let's hear both.
I'll defer to, since this is gonna be about senior housing, I'm gonna defer to the senior.
What?
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Just because he wasn't
Kind of
50
shows
around,
that
50
It's always
award.
nice to have you
Oh
on
my
board,
goodness,
Michael.
that old timer thing again, right?
Next week's show won't feature Michael, I'll be here by myself, but that's not a big thing. Actually, we've quite often told homeowners, if they are uncomfortable with having, because we do take photographs and virtual tours, pictures of the house, and put them all over on the internet, nationally and internationally, that if they're uncomfortable having pictures of family pictures or something like that, then they can remove them when the photographer's there.
Or they could be a celebrity.
And they can, or, yes, exactly, or they could have their kids all over the internet.
Yeah.
But it is a common practice for people to take pictures of their family down.
Now, John, I heard that if you have personal pictures up, that people can't visually place themselves in the house because they're just picturing you in the house. You think that's true?
She said John.
I know, I did.
She
I
was
said
so
John.
short,
You'll
John.
have your time, Michael.
Okay.
Yeah. Jesus. I think
Come on,
Michael
few
can
minutes
answer this
late.
one.
Okay, Michael, what do you think? Do you,
Gee,
would you,
very much.
okay, now we're
I won't
on.
pick on you yet.
Right, oh,
So,
I know you're waiting
my
for it.
opinion is, I think a few pictures here and there is fine.
okay.
I think if you have a wall of pictures, maybe that's something you should tone down a little bit. But having a few pictures, in my opinion, sometimes makes somebody feel, gee, it's a home, it feels good, it gives a good karma
Yeah.
to it. So
Yeah.
that's
Well, on
my
that
thought.
note,
And
I-
maybe, you know, when Betty sits down, we'll ask Betty.
I want to ask Betty, I can't wait. But on that note, someone also said that you should bake apple pie and make it smell homey. So I guess that.
I just like them to bake apple pies when I get there, they have a slice.
So when you have an open
Yeah.
house, that's one of your things
Yeah, I
that
have
you
so many
said, bake
people.
the apple pie.
Yeah.
No, it's nice to have a fresh scent to the house, open the windows, get some fresh air in there and things like that. So,
Yeah,
an
great
apple
tips.
pie is always a great
That we
thing.
completely diverted from. So if you want to know how do you stage your home, John Atkins from Babylon, at low cost, 516-650-4279 is the phone number for Lisa Gott. She is the expert, even though you heard some stuff here first. I think we should call Lisa. 516-650-4279. Okay, so what's up in the real estate market? The news of the
John,
week.
what's happening?
Well, there's a lot of
John.
great news out there. The market is still in great shape. It's doing very, very well. There is still that same transition going on as far as the prices go. They're not going up, but they're certainly not going down.
Okay.
There may be a slight increase. We're still predicting New York to have something in the nature of 1.3 to 1.9% for the entire year.
Okay.
And the market is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And a number of people are getting mortgages. I hear stories that people can't get a mortgage, there's a problem, but
Yeah.
there is a tremendous amount of people doing very well getting mortgages.
It's a little more, it takes a little bit longer, there's a few more double checks, which at the end of the day is really a good thing.
Right, right.
And I would also say, trending from last week to this week, because we really try to stay on top of it,
Yeah.
the trending that we're seeing is that more sellers are talking to us right now. They're really thinking through and maybe beginning to understand that this might be a good time. The rates are really not that bad. They still can move over to where they want to go, whether it's moving south or moving west or downsizing in their community. You know, to stay with that senior theme that seriously where we're gonna go a little bit today.
Right.
I notice a lot more people are speaking to our agents and making appointments and really getting settled in where they may wanna go on in the fall. And as we transition into the fall market very soon, that's very smart. This is when they should be talking to the realtors. And that's the trend we've been seeing just in the last week.
See, I always thought that you should put your house on the market, but I guess it's different for seniors, and we'll find out when Betty comes, that you should put your house on the market sometime early in the year, because you'd wanna sell it by summer. I guess that's for a younger couple.
Let me speak to that right
Yeah.
now. One of the best markets of the year is the fall market.
Okay,
Because the market really quite often follows the quarters of business and school.
okay.
If you put your house on the market now, chances are you're gonna have it sold sometime around the holidays, which is a great time if your children have started in school or you're moving them into a district or you're moving them within the district to go to another, school within your own district. It's a good time to make that change because in between the holiday, they get to have the time off and come back fresh into the
Okay.
school. And it also follows the quarters of business for the obvious.
Mhm.
Right now, in business, they're upsizing, downsizing, they're reevaluating, they're doing budgets for next year. The fall market is a very active market.
It's good to
one
hear
of
you
the
say
stronger
that.
markets. It's a
What-
great market.
I'm
There's
seeing a
something
lot
else
of
that-
in-contract signs,
Okay.
a lot of in-contract signs when I'm driving down the road, and I'm not, fluent in real estate like you guys are. I'm learning
It's
quite a
very
bit on this
busy,
show, but.
yeah. Very busy market, tremendous amount of houses are selling,
Okay.
tremendous. But this is something that you touched on and that you brought up, and I just wanted to speak a little bit about is being in that we're talking a little bit about the senior market, we're talking about sellers who've lived in their house for 20 years, 25 years,
Yeah.
and now they're thinking about going off to Florida, or maybe they're gonna downsize, whatever the case might be, and they're gonna put their house on the market. I think some of the things, or some of the interesting things, and I did a little research on it, are facts that they should
Of
know.
course you do.
I always
Yeah,
do a
thank God
little
he's
bit of
prepared,
research.
because Michael showed up with 2 minutes before the show took live.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
And
so
he
thank
said,
you
what
for
are we
sitting
talking
here.
about?
That's because I had
This
to
is
go
what we're
pick
talking
Oh,
about.
you're not
another
gonna go
This is
Starbucks.
what
there.
we're talking about. This is it, right?
Leave the Starbucks
We'll
alone.
talk about your Starbucks.
Oh,
a
good, I
little
can't
later.
wait.
But-
Okay, so the research that you
Let's
did, John,
assume,
yes. Okay.
let's assume that a senior citizen or a home seller, whatever the case may be, was selling their house here now and intending to move to Florida.
Okay,
They really need to make sure that they have the correct agent, first of all, a Realty Connect agent who does the proper research and is able to provide them with the information I'm about to help them with right now.
I'm assuming that would be Betty.
Betty would
One
be
of Betty would be one of them.
fabulous.
Okay,
Betty
good.
Davenport.
We're gonna meet Betty. You're all
Yeah.
gonna-
I can't wait to talk to Betty.
But let's assume they had a sale price in their house of $450,000.
Yeah.
And they're selling a house now here on Long Island. And they wanted to buy a house in Florida. And if we jump to that chart, if we can.
Okay.
And remind
We
everybody-
jump right to the
Yes,
next
the
chart.
call.
Say they wanted to buy a house in Florida, and the house in Florida was selling at $250,000. And they're
Okay.
selling their house here for $450,000. They're buying a house for $250,000 in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, it's because there's emotion involved in the sale of real estate, they will get stubborn about the value of their home here. I'm not gonna give my home away.
Yes.
I'm not gonna take $10,000
My neighbor
less
got
for
this
my
much, I
house.
gotta get that
Yeah.
Also
much.
Exactly.
attachment and
Yeah.
love with your house, so long, right.
So the problem is that our market is projected to go up at 1.9%. If you, and I'm not sure the viewers can see this, but there's a chart above my head that gives you an idea what's going on in Florida right now. For
Okay.
instance, Jacksonville went up 35%.
Okay,
Florida, in
Naples.
Naples went up 11%. Fort Lauderdale went up 26%. What that translates to is if you hold out a year to get your price here, you're gonna pay 26% more for the house in Florida. I did the numbers on a $450,000 house here. Your net profit would be $8,550 if you hold out another year waiting for the market to go up. Your additional expense in Florida on a $250,000 house would be
Wow.
You're gonna pay $65,000 more for your house in Florida
Wow.
to save $8,000 here, or to
Yeah.
gain $8,000 here. So the net loss to you is about $56,000.
Wow.
So if you're hiring an agent, and that agent is just putting your house on the market, but not researching where you're moving to, not researching the economic conditions about where you're moving to, not researching the values in
know.
the area that you're moving to, they're not helping you.
Wow.
You really need to get the right information. So if I were someone right now living on Long Island,
You're not
putting
trying
my
to tell us
house on the
something, right?
market,
We don't want
I
you
would
to
put it
go.
on at the best possible price.
Okay.
I would put it on and get it sold as quick as possible and make every attempt to save money on my purchase, because that market is escalating at 5 to 10 to 15 times the values
Wow.
that we're going up at.
And what's interesting here is, and I'm being serious now, we spend a lot of time educating our agents so that when they go out in the field, they can really help the sellers
Right.
understand what John just said. And honestly, he does that on a regular basis.
Right.
And that's important information. I have that conversation 3 or 4 times a week. And I
Mhm.
know you're slowly but surely, more and more, you're talking about other parts of the country with our agents. And you know what? Our Realty Connect agents really are versed in that.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at something on the internet, and the states that have gone up, like Las Vegas and California, Florida, Idaho, North Dakota, if you're moving to another state, any one of a numerous amount of states, if you could bring that map back
Mhm.
real quick. If you look at this map, and it goes in color,
Look at the
the
deep
least
blue.
amount of appreciation is in red, then the second would be in orange, and then it
Wow.
goes to blue and deep blue. Look at Florida.
Wow.
That's the most amount of appreciation in
Wow.
California. So if your agent isn't telling you about the states you might be moving to
Wow.
and going over the appreciated
Right,
values
you
in
don't
those
even
states,
know.
you could be losing a fortune waiting for $5,000 here on Long Island.
And if anybody wants that information, if they text us or they email us.
Yes, let's review the number. 516-702-5406. Text or call 516-702-5406. You know what I love that you guys do, that I'm learning so much about, is the way that New York is relative or compared to other states. How you guys are always watching that. I mean, you think that you would just need to know about the Long Island market, but you don't. You really need to know about
Let's
what's
not
happening.
make his head too big.
No,
Oh, well,
quite
I'm looking
often
at
we
you
send
too, even
Florida,
though-
we send Michael out to other areas to research. When he gets annoying, we ship him right to Florida.
Oh, really?
That's it. You're going to
Well,
Florida soon, aren't you?
the only way you're gonna get her to go anywhere, there has to be a Starbucks on every corner.
Yeah.
Here
I
we
see her
go.
in every Starbucks.
Here we go.
Listen, we've talked enough. Can we get our star?
Oh, we gotta
out
get,
here,
yeah.
please?
Let's get Betty out here. Betty is
Hello,
very
Betty.
experienced in many markets. Scott, audience, studio audience.
Hey, Darren, go ahead.
And you have to sit next to me, you're not sitting next to me.
Betty Davenport, it's so nice to meet you.
Nice and
I have
close,
heard a lot
nice and
about you.
close.
And thank you for wearing blue today for the daily blue. Perfect. And the
Realty
colors of
Connect
Realty
Blue.
Connect.
No, I want to be part of the team.
I think you
And
are.
you're the most appreciated state, blue, don't you?
Boy, could that be a whole nother conversation.
So Betty, I have to ask you, what do you like most about being a part of the Realty Connect team?
I like Michael.
Yeah, we
There we
needed
go.
that, besides me sitting right next to you.
I like Michael. I deal with John, but I really like, no, there's a lot of support here.
He needed that today.
There's a lot of
That-
support
that's
here,
gonna
there's a
cost
lot
me a
of,
lot of
you know, help all the time.
I can't believe it.
There's a lot of technical learning that you don't get in other companies, and I really do love Michael and John, I do.
Yeah,
They
they're good
keep
guys.
me-
John and Michael.
They're easy to
John and
love.
Michael,
Oh,
I'm
it's
sorry.
John and Michael, right. That's very important. What do you see the influx of your buyers? Are they a certain age range or?
I do well with first-time home buyers. I love buyers. You
Yeah,
don't, but if you
okay.
don't list, you really don't exist in this industry.
Mhm.
If I had my choice and could only work with buyers, I would. I love them. They're happy.
Yeah.
They're so excited. They're looking at things. They have a whole, and the young buyers are brilliant. They've
Yeah.
done the research. You're not worried about them getting hurt. They know what they're doing, and they're fun to work
Good
with. I
to
love
hear.
people who are happy and just thrilled when they look in houses and happy to start their life. Then they have babies. I love all that. That
Right.
works for me.
And then you also deal on the other end of the senior
I
market.
deal a lot with the senior market.
You love
Friends,
them just as much?
love
So
them.
that's why you
Yeah.
love
that's why I love John, yeah. I do love them. The problem is they're on their way out, you know, so you, so you love them.
That was a great setup.
You love them, but you realize you're gonna lose them, and so that turns into a whole different thing, you know, it really does.
Oh, I love
I
it.
enjoyed you'll be around.
No, this is a
Right,
wonderful
right,
show. I'm really enjoying myself.
Good,
Right,
good, good, I'm glad.
Yeah, so, besides, well,
But I
besides
should
that.
tell you, when Betty does things like volunteers for organizations where they cook for seniors and do things like that, she does a lot of volunteer work, she does a lot of work with
Do you
That's
class
good to
seniors
hear.
in the churches and
I don't
Right.
things
cook for
like that,
him.
houses of worship, so she's fantastic as far as that goes.
That's really
They love
Super
working
hard.
with her.
That's really
You know,
nice.
I don't particularly like it, but they love working.
You don't like working with her or the seniors?
Well, you know,
John,
she just,
what got
she's
into you
fabulous.
today?
she just whispered to me, I don't cook for him
No,
though.
I don't cook for him. We
So
do,
tell us a little bit about that.
we do,
working with that
friends
group.
of mine and I decided that in my church, the seniors are really the pillars of most communities and sort of unrecognized, not unlike veterans, you know, how
Right.
people just don't recognize them.
Right,
So we started a once-a-month luncheon for everyone to come for social hours. We cook for them. And
Really?
yeah, we're up to
That's
about
really
50,
nice.
60 people.
where do you do that?
Christ Lutheran Church in East Northport on the corner of Larkfield and Burr. Anybody's welcome. It's,
Oh, you just said that, it's
yeah.
gonna be all over the air, you're gonna.
it's $6, they come in, well, as long as, we can have it as long as it pays for itself. So
Okay.
we charge, it's 5 years now we're doing it, and it's
Really?
$6 and
That's incredible.
yeah, it really is great, and I bring in speakers. I don't ever say that I'm in real estate. It's sort of funny, but it wasn't about promoting business, it was about giving back to the community. So we bring in speakers who talk about reverse mortgages, or people who come in, I have attorneys come in and talk about trusts, those kinds of things.
So you actually explain, you go down and drill in when people watch these things on TV about reverse mortgages or the process of selling your house there, because quite often, talk a little bit about when you first visit someone and they say, well, I'm just trying to learn information, and it's very overwhelming to them.
Yes, it is. It depends on the age of the senior. I mean, I know that sounds funny, but when you're just retiring from work and you're looking to move to a different area and have fun and travel, that's a whole different meeting than if it's someone who's in their 70s or in their 80s and their family has stepped in and they no longer can live alone.
Yes. yes.
That's a
Yes,
whole
totally
different meeting.
right.
That's one where I do a lot more work in that area, because what happens is you come in and they're losing their independence. Most of the time they've lost their car, someone has taken their car. They're not well, they're moving to assisted living. Their body is
That's
working
tough.
against them. So when
And
you
then
walk
they're
in,
concerned about, what
Who's
am I
gonna
gonna do with
rip
my
them off?
stuff? What's gonna?
Right,
right.
or
And
am I gonna be safe? Is someone gonna take
everything
care
on
of me?
television says seniors are getting ripped
Yeah.
off or being stolen
Sure.
from, so.
Right.
And you're dealing with some dementia. So the first meeting is very, very, very tricky, because, you know, in real estate, we want one meeting, 2 meetings done, sign up, we're good to go. It doesn't work like that in the senior market, especially if they've lived through the Depression. It doesn't work like that at all.
Wow.
It's 3 or 4 meetings, you're not going to.
So each one of those age groups you approach differently?
Yeah, absolutely, and
Okay.
you have to be very cautious on how you speak to people. I mean, obviously, everyone's told treat people how you want to be treated, but in the
Right.
senior market, that's not really true. You have to treat people the way they need to be treated,
Right.
and keep in mind that you want to say to them, maybe your son should be here,
Right,
and that's totally insulting, because why should my son be
I
here?
can't handle
And
it.
they have to tell you, well, what do you mean? I
Well,
can handle
right,
this.
and then you notice that they're forgetful in
Right.
mid-sentences, and you think, all right, I'm not protecting them properly, because they should have someone here.
Mhm,
Mhm.
Exactly.
But you can't present that.
Oh,
It's
geez.
a catch-22 a lot of the time. It takes 3 or 4 meetings,
And patience,
a
obviously, you
lot
have
of
a lot of
patience,
patience.
a lot of patience.
But I think also on the reverse side of that, being a senior.
I never said you were a senior, I don't know why you think I
There's a
did.
lot of people.
You're the youngest guy.
I think that, there's a lot of people who are in their 60s and 70s that are very sharp and very alert.
Absolutely.
And know more
Sure.
than some of us do.
Absolutely.
About what's going on in the marketplace, and what they
Very
intend to
true,
do,
very
where they intend to go. So you're not just dealing with people that are unable to, you know, take care of themselves or things like that, which is a great skill and a talent that's needed, but
Mhm.
I see, you know, senior 60, I talk to people that are 70, 75 years old, and they're sharp as a tack. They're
I don't
still in
consider them
business, they're
seniors.
doing phenomenal.
You know, I'm 55,
Yeah.
65
So
can't possibly
What
be a
what
senior.
we're talking
It's
about
not
on this,
fair.
yeah, over 80
What
or
is a
90.
senior?
When you're talking about a senior who's just finished work, 60, 70 years old, still traveling, so you're talking about a very vibrant person who's,
Exactly.
who's easy to talk to. You can,
And that
They
part
know
of
what
the
they're talking
information,
about?
yeah, you wanna give them this kind of
That's-
information because they can digest it, they
Absolutely.
understand it makes sense to them.
Mhm.
But they do need someone like you, they do need someone they can trust, someone
Sure.
that they have faith in, and someone that they know is looking out for their best interest.
you have to build trust with anyone, and you have to keep respect, no matter how many times they say to you, no, call me Michael, you still say, okay, Michael. Now, Mr. Ardolino, how do you
Yes.
feel? You need to be respectful at all times, and you
Yes.
need to understand that you're dealing with somebody who deserves the respect. They've
Right.
built a home, built a life, built
Exactly.
everything.
And I think they have a different idea of doing business too. I mean, they're not tweeting or texting or getting information from 100 friends as they do, should I do this, should I do that, should I buy
Right.
this? So they're kind of, really, some people, I guess, are still in the handshake. If you say you're gonna do something, then
You
they
better do it.
expect that that's gonna be done.
That's
And
very,
follow
very,
through
very,
with that,
very
because
true.
that's how they lived, and that's how their fathers lived, and that's how they expect the world to live.
That's how your agents are,
Yeah.
no matter what.
And they're actually very much open to just dovetail on what you said about the marketing aspect and the communication aspect of things. They do want to understand. They do understand when they say to you, gee, are you going to be in Newsday or Harmon Homes or something that they're accustomed to that's in print. They are open to understanding tell me what email, what is how's the email gonna work for me? How are you going on the internet? Explain that in more detail. And they get it. They actually
Yeah, they
get
do.
it.
They know what they're looking for. They expect
Absolutely.
certain things to be done for them.
And that's something, again, I'll say, you've spent a lot of time on, John, what we do that is technical and internet and being on point with staying on top of things the way the public looks at things. You've always kept us progressive on that, and once again, our Realty Connect agents are all over it.
We do have the best people, so. And I hear, stories after stories, and I get letters as one of the broker owners, and I'm sure Michael does too, about the agents after a job is done. And people say wonderful things about Bennett. It's phenomenal how happy they are after the transaction is done with the job that she's done for them, so.
Well, you can tell the amount of patience that you have to have. I guess I never even thought of that, but you have to be really committed and sincere and certainly patient.
The fun thing is to set them up with a Facebook account and show them that they can see their grandchildren's pictures from there.
That's gotta
Because
be-
their kids lose patience to do it, but if you do it for them, it's really kind of interesting to see.
And they
And then
enjoy
they
it,
can
right?
see
Yeah,
more
it's
on
nice.
the internet. They can actually work on the internet if you sit and show them, so they understand that Newsday maybe isn't the way to go for
Mhm.
advertising, because they know newspapers.
Yeah.
Right.
And that the internet is
Yeah.
a better way to go. You can look at this, look at that. So that's always fun, to bring in something and sit and show them.
So.
I want to remind everybody that they can call in for any questions, or of course, send a text or an email afterwards. It's 516-702-5406. You can ask a question of John, Michael, or Betty. It can be about the senior market or really anything. Also, Realty Connects li@gmail.com. Realty Connects li@gmail.com. You can always send an email, and these wonderful people will give you their expertise and their information about anything that you have to ask on the real estate market, and obviously in many other states. Do you find still that you're having, I mean, you mentioned Florida, are you still seeing those snowbirds?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it's great. But, you know, you see someone who's worked their whole life, and then they're selling their home, and I have a place here, and I'm going here, and we're doing that. It's great. I love that. That's the best.
Yeah, you get to enjoy your life
Yeah.
after you spend a lot of time.
You
doing
should
that.
be able to work. So I always say to them, if the last check you write is on your deathbed, that's the way it should be, and you should live your whole life having the best time.
Yeah.
Because this is it. You can't
Right.
take it with you.
Right.
Go and see Europe, go and do all those things. Get
Right.
rid of the house,
I
get a
saw a
condo.
speaker one time and had the same thing. She had, I have a suit hanging in my closet with all the pockets cut out to remind me that's the one I'll be laid out in, and I can't take anything with me.
That's right.
Just enjoy it while you're here.
I have to ask you.
Yeah, no, I'm
What are you two doing?
Check it out. Yeah, nice.
Oh, look at this.
So tough.
Watch
Look at
him.
this guy.
Shows up 2 minutes before the show's supposed to start.
This
He's
is
the
my partner, my
superstar.
wallet's missing.
I know, right?
Unbelievable.
I have to ask you because I've asked everybody. We've seen Dennis Murphy on the show. He was helping someone to get engaged. We've seen Lisa Gott. We've seen a bunch of agents who really have touched lives. I know you spoke about that a bit today. but anything that comes to mind that was your most compelling moment in all the years that you were in the industry that you maybe helped somebody, or, and I'm sure there's many, but were there any moments that you just really felt it hit you?
Recently, I have a 85-year-old woman whose house was hit by lightning and burned down. So, in the process right now of trying to, she has no family, never married, outlived her whole family.
Wow.
So I've sort of adopted her, she's mine now, and that's
That's right.
kind of
Oh
the
my
way it is.
gosh.
Yeah, she has nobody in her life, and
Right.
my pastor actually brought me over to meet her after the fire, and now I'm,
She's like a
my
mom to
daughter,
you,
yeah, I'm
right.
trying to, you have to be careful because you don't wanna be that ghoul who's, people think you're trying to get her money, but I'm trying, moving her into her then house and moving her into assisted, some kind of
That's really
senior living,
nice.
And
so.
I actually heard you negotiating and defending her on the phone, and she's lucky to have you as an advocate, because I would say that, what you negotiated, the values and everything you've done for that house are amazing.
Okay, well, we're getting from our producer that we need to check with the newest listings.
That's because we're running just a hair late because our
Because
camera
Michael-
folks were down at a festival shooting celebrities last night. Who was
night,
it?
yeah.
Joan Jett and who else?
Dee Snyder we
Dee
met.
Snyder, yeah.
and,
So the camera crew was
yes.
out late last night,
Yes.
The Hamptons crowd, I
Well,
guess.
yeah, we have good times at the
I
Daily
guess we don't
Blue.
get invited. we're
I
too
didn't
old.
go, I don't know, maybe they didn't
know.
have any seniors at that particular luncheon.
All right, I got the message, I got it,
Yeah,
loud
that's
and
okay.
clear, and you didn't have to say it on
But we're really
live.
excited that you guys had a good time.
Yeah, it was
Really,
good.
no, I am.
Okay, well,
If the
hopefully-
camera's shaky today.
I would invite you to our next event, but you have an
Okay.
event of your own that night, and that's September 19th for the Long Island Business News
September
50
29th.
Around 50 Awards. No, the 19th.
Oops,
19th.
sorry.
Michael, I know this.
That's just
I
another
know this.
senior moment.
It's not.
I deserve that. You got me.
You got it, yeah. You just want to make fun of my Starbucks. Go ahead.
No, I'm
You,
good.
oh,
I'm
good,
good.
good.
Starbucks is gonna be excited that you're advertising
We're-
for them.
I love
Kidding?
Starbucks. Okay,
All right,
sorry.
we're talking too much, we gotta get to new listings. Here we go.
Listings.
What's new in the
People
market,
wanna hear
folks?
listings.
Here we go.
We're gonna
Okay.
start with
All
Betty,
right.
right? Betty,
Hi, great.
tell us about this.
House
What a
on Beach
surprise.
Avenue. Really nice house. Master suite is a loft. It's an acre of property, horse property in Huntington, and the best part is taxes are only
Horse property.
$57.75
Wow.
without star.
That's a
Horse
great
property
house.
under $6,000.
Under
That
$6,000,
is master.
true
That is
taxes.
wow.
Really
Nice.
great house,
1 acre.
1 acre.
Okay, here we have.
Oh, this is really
Lily's house,
nice.
this is a beautiful house.
This is a 55 and over community? Yes, it is. It's a
Yeah.
55 and over community.
There's a great house, if you're
beautiful.
downsizing,
So
and that's
for
a
under
beautiful, look
200,
at that, look
look
at
at
the
that.
windows in it, look at the size of that house, skylights, everything, 229.
Golf courses, 2 golf clubs,
Now that looks like Florida,
4
right?
pools, how much swimming can you do?
bocce, 2 gyms,
Well, listen, when you guys have, all the time.
bike
when-
trails.
That's a
Wow.
great house.
That
That's a great
sounds
house.
nice. Go ahead, John. you take
Mary
this.
Ann, what do we got here?
Over in Oakdale.
Oh, Oakdale, 419, look at the size of that, that's a
Fine.
beautiful high
Mansion.
ranch, it's bumped out in the front, it's got a nice drive, look at that
Curb
2-car
appeal.
drive. That probably was a 2-car garage at one time, so there's additional living space, that's a fabulous house.
Very
And
nice.
you're looking at,
And under 500,000?
Yeah.
Paver
Great.
driveway, well
great,
done.
yeah, great value there.
Oh, that's pretty.
Smithtown, that's a
Legal.
charming house, see that front
Legal
porch?
2.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Wow, legal
Everybody's
2.
looking for legal twos, write this one down,
Really?
folks, 549, yeah.
And look at the taxes for a legal 2, that's not high
Yeah.
at all to
You
be
got a
right
nice
there in
rocking chair
Bohemia.
porch.
Very
Beautiful.
nice.
That's Rosemary Bruno.
Nancy, this is a new agent who just joined us.
Oh,
By the
really?
way, if you're out there and you're in real estate and you're thinking about a change in your career and you'd like to interview with us, we'd be more than happy to sit and talk to you. Realty Connect offers a tremendous amount to their agents. You might even get your new listings up on
And
the Realty
Corinne may
Connect
even give
show.
you a Starbucks coupon.
That's it.
I might put them on the red carpet, Michael.
But that's a
Okay.
great house, yeah, it's a beautiful rancho, new
285.
windows, siding, nice
Yeah,
drive,
thank you.
that's great.
It's on a half
That's
an
very
acre.
nice. Hold
3
on.
bedrooms, nice,
285.
congratulations.
That's so
Wow.
cheap, my
That's really
goodness.
a good price.
Okay, now we're getting up into something.
This is a nice house, it's $799,
Half
super
an
colonial,
acre.
look at it, 2-car garage, beautiful, beautiful house. Fireplace, marble fireplace, new appliances.
Right in Northport,
Yeah.
very good. Oh,
Sandy
so-
Bellucci,
Sandy-
Port Jefferson,
Boy.
that is a really sweet house.
That's nice, a lot of charm, a lot of curb appeal.
Yeah.
629.
den, fireplace.
Oh, I love
And
the
they'll sell it
walkway.
furnished for another 10,000, they'll even give you the furnishings, 9-foot ceilings.
Does that say 42 feet of cabinets?
Yeah,
Oh my God, what a kitchen that much has.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
very nice.
All right,
Very
so
nice.
that's just some of the thousands, and I do say thousands of properties that we have available here at Realty Connect. So if you didn't see something you liked, we have it. Just give us a call, let us know what your needs are, and we'll be happy to take care of it.
And you too can be up on that screen if
I
you're
want to be
with
up on
us.
the screen. What do I have to do? I'm signing up, that's it. We have had such a great time today with you all. Thanks for joining us on the Daily Bloom. We look forward to our show next week. Oh,
Why don't you ask
where-
us, what are we having next?
I was going to ask you, of course.
Yeah.
What do we have next week, John?
Would depend on what the market gives us. It'll
that
be
every
up to the
time.
minute and current, and we'll be prepared for what the market's delivering at that moment next week.
Excellent. Any jabs you want, Michael?
No,
I know
no,
you,
I'm good.
really?
No, no,
You're all
no,
sitting
you
there so
got that.
calm
You got
and
through
debonair.
Betty came
Betty's-
over and calmed me down.
Yes, obviously. Betty's so
So
patient
glad
and
you
kind, we've
came
learned
today.
tonight.
She
Really
takes
glad.
good care of the seniors.
He's getting them all in.
Betty's motto is she takes care. So if you want to get in touch with Betty Davenport, how do we get in touch with you, Betty?
Myself,
Okay, it's-
631-949-6105.
Betty, thank you for joining us today.
my
It's
pleasure.
really,
Thank you
it's
very
really
much,
nice to get to know
Betty.
you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Daily Blue. Thank you to our hosts, Kevin, Kevin's not there,
Kevin's
John
off
and
golf
Michael.
course.
Kevin left.
Sorry, you
Yeah.
know, I was thinking about Florida. John and Michael, and thank you, I'm Corinne Caro. Thanks for joining us on the Daily Blue. And of course, to our producer, Brandon, and the wonderful Brittany Bluchip. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Have a nice week.